Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Here she goes. Great ass! And you got your head all the way up it. Say hello to my little friend.
Hoo-ah! Oh, yeah.
I'm the hand of Mona Lisa's skirt. I'm a surprise, Kevin. They don't see me coming.
You come at me, you better know I move quick, and when I do, I slice like a goddamn hammer.
Hi all and welcome back to my Al Pacino retrospective review series. This is episode 11 of the third season. I'm your host Jeff, 101 Bronson as always. And on today's episode we're going to be taking a look at the 2007 ensemble third entry to a franchise, namely, today we're going to be taking a look at Ocean's 13. Directed by Steven Soderbergh and with an all-star cast as you can see. We got George Clooney in here, Matt Damon, Brad Pitt, Don Cheadle, Bernie Mac, Scott Caan, Elliott Gould, Andy Garcia, Alan Barkin, and of course, the man of the hour, Al Pacino. Among others, of course. An ensemble heist flick, right? Just like its two predecessors, which I should say I've not actually seen Ocean's 11 or 12, the first two entries into this. I've only seen bits and pieces. I never saw them in full, but that definitely did not stop me from enjoying this particular film. So I think they're pretty standalone. From what I know, I think you do have, of course, characters and events being referenced and stuff, but honestly, like I said, I could easily watch this third entry without having watched the first two. So it didn't stop me from enjoying it as sort of a standalone film. I have been told that the first one is really good. I've been told that the second one is, I don't know, kind of, I've heard it's not as good, but this one was a return to form by a lot of accounts. But how successful was the film, and was it a good choice for Pacino to appear in it? Well, that's, of course, what we're here to find out. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at Ocean's 13 from 2007. Here we go. The plot of the movie goes as follows. The last time we saw Danny Ocean, played by George Clooney, and his crew, they were paying back ruthless casino mogul Terry Benedict, played by Andy Garcia, after stealing millions from him. However, it has been a while since they've come back together, which is all about to change, when one of their own, Ruben Tishkov, played by Elliott Gould, builds a hotel with another casino owner, Willie Bank, played by Al Pacino. The last thing he ever wanted was to get cut out of the deal personally by the loathsome Bank. Bank's attitude even goes so far as to find amusement in Tishkov's misfortune when the double-crossing lands Ruben in the hospital because of a heart attack. However, Danny and his crew won't stand for Bank and what he's done to a friend. Uniting with their old enemy Benedict, who himself has a vendetta against Bank, the crew is out to pull off a major plan. One that will unfold on the night Bank's newest hotspot opens up. They're not in this one for the money, but for revenge. It's a good story and setup for this caper, and solid acting performances across the board in this one for sure. George Clooney does a good job as Danny Ocean, and his motivations in the story are justified and clear to understand, and he has some very good scenes along the way in this one for sure. I've never been the biggest Clooney fan, in large part due to Batman and Robin being a thing, but in films like One Fine Day with Michelle Pfeiffer and From Dusk Till Dawn, and indeed this one, he definitely does a solid job for sure, and I can definitely see the appeal of him as a major movie star. Overall, a good performance in this one as the lead. Brad Pitt is another one of those actors who I had to take some warming up to over the years, as I've always just pegged him for a pretty boy movie star who only appealed to the female audiences, but in films like Inglourious Basterds, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Seven, and True Romance, he definitely made me a fan of his, and although he doesn't get an awful lot to do here, it's by no means a bad performance or addition to this film. Overall, it's a very good performance without being a particular standout or anything like that. Matt Damon does well enough as well. Again, I've never been the biggest fan, but I have enjoyed him in a fair few of his films over the years, like The Bourne Identity and The Departed being two of my favorites of his work. He has some very good scenes here to be fair, especially later on in the story with Alan Barkin's character delivering some good comedic moments for sure. All in all, another good performance in addition to this ensemble. Elliott Gould, the actor I've always liked quite a bit, does a very solid job here as the catalyst essentially for this story to kick off, and is definitely a highlight in this. Very good performance by this very well respected actor. The rest of Ocean's crew all deliver with the likes of Bernie Mac and Don Cheadle and company all doing their parts for sure. Andy Garcia, who we previously talked about of course for the Godfather Part 3 review, is a definite highlight here as well. A actor I've always admired since first seeing him opposite Pacino in that aforementioned film, with movies like 8 Million Ways to Die, The Untouchables, Black Rain, and more recently The Mule with Clint Eastwood being some of my favorites in his career. Always great to see Garcia on screen, a very fine actor indeed, and a highlight in this one again. Especially the moment when he comes face to face with his old Uncle Michael, quote unquote, once more. Ellen Barkin, who has another Pacino connection of course, as she starred opposite the man in 1989's Sea of Love, was yet another highlight for me here. As the assistant to Pacino's Willie Banks, she gets to have plenty of screen time with the legend once again, and just like their previous collaboration, she absolutely holds her own and does a splendid job. Plus, did I mention in that Sea of Love review she's smoking hot? Because, yeah, she's smoking hot. Both in Sea of Love as well as this one. Al Pacino himself does a fine job as per usual as the villain of this piece, Willie Bank, with some scene-stealing moments as can be expected, which he takes full advantage of, that's for sure. His presence throughout the film is quite big as he appears in more scenes than I thought going into the revisit of this film. It's not a film I've seen all too often, but I was pleasantly surprised and entertained throughout, especially with Pacino having such a large and memorable role in this. Kudos to the legend yet again. His Willie Bank character is a great one for sure, and Pacino shines once more. The film is very well directed by Steven Soderbergh and runs at a nice brisk pace with some clever editing moments, especially during the third act's extended heist sequence as we see the plan go off. I don't think I've ever enjoyed a film as much as I did on this viewing, to be fair, and I even wouldn't mind going back and watch the first two and then this one again in one go. The film upon release was received generally with positive reactions as far as I can tell. On an estimated budget of about $85 million, the film made about $311 million worldwide. A big hit for sure. Over on Rotten Tomatoes at the time of doing this review, the film sits at a 70% critic score and a 75% audience score, and it has a 6.9 IMDb. Myself, I give it a solid 7 stars out of 10, so not all too far off with the IMDb score. A well-recommended heist thriller with a great cast and performances across the board, very cleverly put together by the director and editors. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend to do so for sure. And that's that. So there you guys have it. That was my review for Ocean's 13 from 2007. Yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed this film. I actually did not enjoy the film as much as I did on this rewatch, previously. I never really enjoyed the film as much as I did on this recent rewatch for the review. I really enjoyed this film this time around. I've always liked it. Don't get me wrong, never hated it or anything, but it is one of my lesser watched Pacino films because, again, the ensemble, I mean, there's a few people like George Clooney. I've never really been the biggest Clooney fan. I like him, but I don't love him. I like Brad Pitt, don't love him. I do love him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Inglourious Basterds, but those are select films. And Matt Damon, yeah, he's Jason Bourne. I like the Bourne Identity, the first one. I don't care for the rest of the Bourne films. He's good in Invictus, directed by Clint Eastwood. I think also in Hereafter by Clint Eastwood. And of course, yeah, Good Will Hunting. How could I forget about that one, Good Will Hunting? But I've never really been the biggest Damon fan, to be fair. There's a few people, of course, that I do really enjoy. Like, I fucking love Andy Garcia, and it was great to see him in this film. And it was great to have him reunite with Pacino a little bit. Have a little reunion there, Vincent Corleone reunited with Uncle Michael there. That was cool to see. I do like Don Cheadle. I do like Bernie Mac. I like Scott Caan as part of the ensemble. It's a great ensemble. There's some great people. It's like, hey, I know that guy. Hey, I know that one. Hey, I know that one. It's a cool ensemble. And I love seeing Ellen Barkin as well. Did I mention, by the way, that she's smoking hot? Because she's fucking smoking hot. I fucking love Ellen Barkin, man. She's mad on. Yeah, I mean, Ellen Barkin. She's great. She plays a great character in this one. A great sort of bad chick, she was a highlight. She was an absolute highlight. I absolutely love Ellen Barkin. I've always enjoyed seeing her and whatever she pops up in. And yeah, and I do think the film is very competently directed by Steven Soderbergh. I mean, when you get to the heist and you got these split screen moments happening and this and that, you see all the events of the plan unfolding, you see the heist unfolding. It's like very cleverly put together. I really enjoyed the editing, and I loved how they put the whole thing together. I think it was just a terrific film. I do really recommend it. So yeah, 7 stars out of 10 for me on Ocean's 13. Great ensemble film, and I do really want to see the first two, and then I want to do a marathon of the trilogy now. I want to watch the first one, the second one, and the third one. That would be cool. I'm actually interested enough now to watch the first two. So but yeah, they sadly don't feature Pacino, so they won't be reviewed here. But alas. Anyway, that takes us to next week's film. Next week we are going to be taking a look at a 2008 cop thriller which reunites Pacino with his Godfather 2 and Heat co-star, Sir Robert De Niro. So we have Sir Al Pacino, and we also have Sir Robert De Niro, the two great Italian actors, Italian-American actors, reuniting for what many people consider to be a lackluster film. Considering all the other films that they have done, it is probably my least favorite of all of the 4 films that they have starred in together, or they have appeared in together. But it is 2008's Righteous Kill coming up next week. Most people respect the badge. Everybody respects the gun. Yeah, De Niro and Pacino, directed by John Afton, who previously directed 88 Minutes. So this one is coming up in the next review, so stay tuned for that one. Here's a shout out to my member, Crushers Movies and Games. Thank you so much for being a member, sir. If you guys would also like to become a member and support the channel further, and even get early access to these Pacino reviews, which I do upload like 4 or 5 at a time usually. I record these back to back, and they're all up there for members until they release to the public. So you can all do that by the link down in the description below. I would really appreciate it. And of course, like I said, it would help the channel out tremendously. With all that having been said, stay safe and healthy and keep punching. And we'll see you next week for Righteous Kill with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. Is it as bad as I say? Find out next week. Hooah! Take care.